Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Picadian.
Hey everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We're thrilled to death that you are listening to our show. Tony, you die. It's just me and Tony tonight, except for we've had a string of fantastic in studio awesomeness.
I
love
it
it when this happens. And this was a spontaneous thing from our good friend Mikey, aka Papa Mikey.
Papa Mikey.
What's up?
From
Dayton, Ohio?
Dayton.
I don't know.
Native Audio Man.
Oh, Native Audio, yeah.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah,
yes.
that thing. Yeah. That's
And I was going to say little baby Jesus.
Respect.
Mike Jr.
Yeah, I'm Micah.
Micah.
I'm also from Native Audio.
Yeah, I mean, I know
Not
your
to
name,
be-
but I was trying
Not to be
come up
confused with
something
Mike.
funny. Yes, Mike and Micah.
Yes.
Anyhow, we are really excited to have them in the studio with us today. They're bringing to us their new release that we got to play with, which
Nuevo.
was super fun. Really cool pedal.
Yes.
Just warning you all, okay? So,
It's really cool.
yeah, start shining up them credit cards, baby.
Yeah.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
I mean, it's a $50 pedal. Come on.
Which is the price point. That's the first ever he's dropped below, $180, and it's with this coupon code.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mike says 50.
Todd's pedal collection.
Mike is not coming in Monday.
No, we
guys
kid.
No.
It's worth that and 3 times more.
Yes.
Anyways,
150.
we'll get into this later, but we need to get. Hey, enough of this nonsense.
It's silliness.
We got stuff to do. Got a quick announcement, everybody. Oh, wait. You know what, Tony? For those who might be joining for the first time or have like perused past or jumped in the middle, what do we do here?
We like to talk about gear. We like to talk about boutique gear, and that's, things like guitars and amps and pedals and accessories and all the good stuff. We talk to some big boys too, but we really like to focus in on the boutique builders, people who are just really working hard to crank out stuff that makes musical life better.
Things with a story are great to understand, and
We definitely have a story
as
tonight.
gear collectors, as gear enthusiasts. As soon as someone says, "Oh, do you have this?" the first thing that people start talking about, Micah, we were talking about amps.
Yeah.
Right? You didn't say, "I have this and it sounds good." You told me the story behind the amp that you got.
I did.
You told me
The
the
journey.
story behind the guitar you got. That's why we care about this stuff. Dad, burn it.
We
Couple
care.
of announcements.
What?
This is from our new supporter, Cameron Pempus.
Pempus.
Yes.
So I've
He
been saying
says-
it right all this time.
I hope so.
Yes.
He'll tell us if it's not right.
Pempus.
And whenever we get a new supporter, we always say, "Hey, tell us about yourself. We want to know what you're into and everything." He says, "Hey guys, huge thanks to the show for introducing me to Tony.
Ah.
I love my black gold glitter guard that I got from my Explorer."
Yes,
I'm still waiting for a picture of that, Cameron Pempus. So he says, a bit about me. My main axes are an Ibanez Joe Satriani signature. I wonder if that's the mirror version. He did a mirror one, right?
There was one.
It's like a... No? Yeah. Mike, you love Satriani.
Yes.
It's real
An
saturated.
Epiphone Les Paul Prophecy with Gibson Dirty Fingers pickups. And an Epiphone Explorer with a new black and gold Pickguardian Sparkle Guard. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Says, besides that, I have both too many and not enough pedals. 4 on the floor is always a highlight for that reason. I've been listening for a couple years, and after hearing about you via the Chasing Tone podcast, hey, thanks, Chasing Tone,
Yeah.
for giving us a shout out. That's
very cool.
fantastic.
I didn't even realize they were chasing
And a
after me.
shout out back to Chasing Tone. Wanted to support because I love the hours of content you created for the betterment of the guitar world. Hand to heart, thank you. That's me saying that. What do you call it when they insert the thing in a block of copy that's not there?
Parenthetical.
Yeah, anyway, something like that.
Yeah.
And then he says, I'm a music teacher. Oh, that's cool. And my school is rock folk based. I love knowing my students can access so much more than I could have ever imagined when I was starting out. We were talking about that on the last show, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to getting my parts caster back once the string-through bridge gets installed. Hoping to get it back in the next week or so. That's great, Cameron. Thank you for sharing that with us. We truly appreciate all those personal details and stuff.
Yes.
And hopefully he becomes... Like, it'd be really cool if any of you out there become a would you rather superpower. Your mission is to outseat, overseat, deseat.
Unseat.
No, unseat, join the seating of Bruce Bacon.
Oh.
And Bob Crouch. He's put in a bunch of them too.
That's true. That's true.
All right. So that's really cool. Wanted to share that. Love those messages. Keep them coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get on to our what's going on in our music worlds this week by the dazzling and t-shirt housed sensational person, Tony.
Yes, Todd. Thank you for that stellar introduction.
Yes.
Couple of things this week. I was perusing online Guitar World again, I think as I was last time.
Yeah.
And I stumbled across, this is my favorite thing, and I showed it to my wife so she doesn't think I'm quite as bad as I am. So there was just a kind of a brief article with Joe Bonamassa.
Oh, yes.
And he says, now he admits to, this is like me admitting that I only have 25 guitars, right? He admits to having 500 guitars and 500 amps that he lives with.
He lives with?
Yeah, I believe that.
I mean, well, again, I admit to 25. There's a few more. And I'm guessing...
there's more
He
than
said, the article goes on, he says he usually typically adds, 40 to 50 pieces of equipment per year. And then at the end of the year, he has a sell-off where he'll try to get rid of about, 20 or 30. So... he's trying to keep the numbers.
Oh, man.
Make sense. I don't know where he puts
It's
them all,
insane.
quite honestly. But anyhow.
He puts them where all the stacks of money were. That's easy.
Well,
He's just trying to displace things, that's all.
I guess so. But
Every time that he comes up in conversation, I still marvel that we got to sit up in his dressing room with him while he was just warming up, noodling on the guitar, just talking to us doofuses about cool guitar stuff. And then
one cool guy and one doofus.
yeah.
What?
It's true. I'm surprised that he did call you doofus for knowing him for all those years. And then, and then we're just like, okay, we'll see you at the show. And then he comes out and he's like freaking rock god. And it's like, wow. That was so neat.
Yeah. Well,
killer.
Anyways,
that's what the kind of
Mike
gift that
is
I provide.
a huge fan
really?
of Joe Bonamassa. Joe Bonamassa and Joe Satriani. He loves the Joes.
Bonamassa, Satriani. I mean, the list goes on.
It does. It does. Let's see. Let's hear from...
No, I'm not done yet.
Oh.
So that was my amuse-bouche.
Yes. You want to explain what a amuse-bouche is to everybody?
It is something
I know.
that tempts your appetite.
Yes.
It's a small little treat.
Yes. It'd be
A
like...
morsel.
It'd be like foie gras cotton candy.
No, that would
No,
not
I've
be
actually
good.
had that. It was really
Foie
good.
gras cotton
Yeah.
candy.
At the bazaar.
Well, here's the meat and potatoes of the meal, folks, because last episode we talked to our good friend, Matt Hart.
That's correct.
And he mentioned a book that he had just recently read. And while we were having our podcast, I actually went in and ordered this book. And it's called Feeding Back: Conversations with Alternative Guitarists from Proto-Punk to Post-Rock.
Cool.
And this, I cannot wait to read this. More than half of the people that are in this book, I admire. And am inspired by.
I don't know what kind of review that is. More than half of these people I admire.
Well, I mean, there's a handful that I don't recognize.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say 75%.
75%.
I admire.
That's
All
a hefty
right.
book, too.
And it's not bad. And basically, what's cool. We were talking about this, and it turns out the author of this book is I'm guessing he's still based here. He's an English teacher at Otterbein University.
You get out of here.
Yeah, so I'm telling you. So he's, I'm gonna have to look him
We
up.
should have him on the show.
Sounds like
David
a podcast
Todd.
episode.
I like
Todd,
this
okay.
idea.
But this is it's
My wife graduated from that place.
Yeah.
For
It's
masters.
beautiful.
So I mean, it covers the whole gamut of things from the early punk days, Lenny Kaye and Wayne Kramer and Tom Verlaine.
I see
Cheetah
John
Chrome.
Frusciane's name on there. I can approve
Yes,
this book.
it's in there.
Yes.
it is
I
in
see it
there.
right here.
And
WH10.
He's number 3 on your list.
Yes. So I mean, and he goes through all this, and it appears that these are just kind of like conversations and interviews and that sort of thing. So
fantastic.
I'm going to read it, and I'm going to pass it to Todd, and he can read
I
it.
think we got to get him on the show.
Yeah.
I will make that happen.
Yeah.
Dad, burn it.
Now it's going to get confusing because his last name is Todd and your first name is Todd.
Wait,
It's
so
not really that confusing.
so is it conversations between other guitarists,
No, it's between the author
between the author
and
and
these guitarists.
and these guitarists?
Yes. He was
Really?
eavesdropping it. He served.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyways, I don't know.
So anyhow, again, this is going to be fun, and after you read it, we can have a little discussion about it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes. That's what I was doing the voice of Basil Rathbone before we started the podcast. Yes. Basil Rathbone, was this old actor. He was the original Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah,
on
that's
the
right.
TV.
He was.
Yes.
He was. All right, who are we moving to?
Well,
Mike
we're
or
going
Micah?
to Micah because Mike is enthralled right now.
Mike's
He's trying
halfway
to
through this
find Joe
book.
Satriani in there. Okay, go ahead. Micah, what's
What's
going on in
the-
your music world this week?
This week we've just been kind of prepping stuff for the new pedal release. Has been the biggest thing.
Uh-huh. No, not about pedals.
Not
How
about
many
pedals.
times have you been on the show, man?
This is the second time,
Jeez.
so I'm still learning.
Oh my God!
biggest thing in my musical world. So I'm going to go see Deerhoof in Louisville.
Yeah, that's cool.
In a few weeks. I'm really excited about that. I've had the tickets for like 6 months. So
Oh, really? Wow.
yeah. Haven't
Now,
seen them
he
since
plays-
pre-pandemic. So it's the first time I've seen them in several years. So I'm very excited about that.
The lead guy, doesn't he play like John Doe actually played one too? It's like it's got like the F holes, but the F holes are completely cut out.
Eastwood did like a signature model.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
it's
them,
an old Ampeg model.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks
Ampeg,
like the
yeah.
Ampeg base. Yes, yeah. Center of the headstock is empty.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the scrolled headstock like the original Ampeg bases, but
Yeah.
otherwise it looks like the Ampeg body.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember some early stuff by them, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they're super fun.
Well, that's very fun.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Fantastic, Mikey.
Me? I'm gonna brag on Tony just for a sec here. So I just finished my rebuild on my Strat. It's kind of more of like a simplified version. Got rid of the whole 5 pickup or the 5 switch selector type of situation. Went to a 3, and
Well, we also removed the pickup though too.
and we actually did. So I went I had this American Strat, and I had Tony do up a pick guard for me, just 2 pickups and two pot positions or potholes. And cleaned it up, just kind of simplified kind of the layout. I basically tried to make a Strat into a Duosonic. And thankfully, Tony
So
did
you didn't like a Strat either.
No. Well, here's the thing. So I bought an American Standard back in 2012. Played it for like 4 years up until I got the Duosonic. So
Okay.
2016, I just retired it. I just threw it somewhere, and I played the Duosonic all the way up until I got this neck for Christmas. I got a new neck. I worked with Micah. I was like, dude, this is kind of the feel I'm trying to go for, blah, blah, blah. And ended up getting a new neck for the Strat and threw the neck off, and we put the new neck on, and it plays like a dream.
Awesome.
Feels really good.
What color?
It's Olympic white.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Olympic white, and then rosewood fretboard, but beautiful. And so I love the Duosonic though, just the setup, it's neck, bridge. And that's kind of what I did with this setup. Thankfully, Tony came in clutch and did up a custom pick guard. And so that's kind of been my favorite thing for the last bit now.
Are you going to put in different kinds of pickups to differentiate it between your other guitar?
So my other guitar, my Duosonic, I have Brandon wound in the neck and actually Brandon wound in the bridge. Mm-hmm. And
humbucker and strat, or humbucker single. Humbucker in the bridge, single in the neck.
Yes, exactly. And for this, and for the strat, single neck, humbucker bridge. And Jared actually did a pickup for me like back in 2017. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, this is sound I'm going for. Can you do a pickup for me? And so he did the pickup, and then it took me 6 years to finally throw the pickup on my Strat. So I threw that on there, and then I think I got a Lawler in the neck. Mm-hmm. One of their, I think it's the Vintage Blonde. But
you should see a doctor about that.
What about Lawler?
I got a Lawler in the neck. I don't know.
Oh. No. So anyways,
Mikey will get up to speed with Tony.
I'll get up to it. I gotta get one more Waterloo.
I think there's
one more Waterloo
here. I know you love a monster.
Dude, I can't do a monster now.
Are you off the monsters?
No, I'll dabble. I mean, I had a Red Bull earlier.
I'll dabble.
Yeah, I'll dabble.
There might be one of those.
I'm not as chaotic.
Cold one in there.
I'm not as chaotic as I once was. I got a child now, so
there's a Red Bull in here if you want one.
No, I'll be up all night. I'll be up all night.
Yeah.
And that's how I know I'm getting old too. Like we went through the drive-through right before this, and Micah got a coffee. And I was like,
Smart
oh,
man. I love a coffee.
I know. I was like, oh, man, I should get a coffee. And I looked at the time, and I was like, it's 6 something. It's a little too late. So I passed on the coffee. Yeah, dude, I'm not going to be up all
I
night.
can drink coffee at 12 o'clock at night.
We stopped at Sonic.
Fine.
Yeah.
And I got a cold brew.
Not.
Why did you do that?
It was the only coffee drink on the menu. It just tasted like chocolate milk with ice in it.
Yeah.
That sounds
Not
terrible.
not even a hint of a coffee flavor. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right.
So I upgraded the Strat, and it plays like a dream, sounds like a dream, and
But it's not a Strat anymore.
It's Stratty. It's Stratty.
It's got the neck pickup. That's all that really matters on a Strat, right?
Okay. Yeah. It's smooth. It's smooth. So now that I got the Strat all good, because if I'm not, I don't have 500 guitars. I kind of stick to, I got 2 electrics, right?
Yeah.
And now that I got this set up, now I'm going to start kind of remodeling, doing a remodel on the Duosonic. And so I brought my pick guard here for this podcast. I'm going to give that to Tony. He's going to kind of mod that. So, yeah. I'm very excited.
No rest for the wicked.
Wait, is he going to mod that one, or is he going to make a new one?
He's going to make a new one.
Make a new one.
Okay, I was going to say, are you really going to do that?
But it's going to have mods on it.
I mean, he could probably mod it too.
Right now, it has a
Drill a hole
RFID tag on it.
Yeah.
High tech.
I know. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's super
very
cool.
excited.
All right.
What about you, Todd? What do you got going on in your
Well-
music world this week?
So I've talked about, I got the Fender pedal board, which I'm really digging. And what I've been doing is playing around with trying to get different combos, because I got the JHS. Oh crap! The JHS switcheroo pedal. It's basically like a loop pedal.
They should call it.
yeah.
They should
Okay.
call it
but
this.
it's a single standard pedal size.
They should call it the switchy poo.
Switchy poo. I love that. A little HR puffin stuff action for you.
indeed.
Anyways, yeah. So, what I have on one, it's 2 loops. So on the first loop, I have my pedal stack that I is my main sound, and then I've been playing around with like, well, what can I pair this up with, so that I could go from because I'm using stack pedals. If I want to switch in the middle, like let's say I'm doing a verse, right? I'm playing along with a verse, but then I want to go to, crazy fuzz or something for like a chorus.
Right.
I can't do that with one click, right?
Okay.
Because I'd have to turn both of the stack off and then turn on the fuzz at the same. So that's why this pedal is like so great. I love this idea that they just made something that's inherently complex. Like 5 to 8. Boss switcheroo pedal thing. Just going, well, just make it one size. For clarification, by the way, it's the JHS Switchback, which is a really great pedal. Highly recommend it.
Cool.
And what's cool is you get the remote switch out. So I have that up on my upper area. So it doesn't get in the way with, like, I don't have to tiptoe all over, like, the modulation and delay and everything, all that stuff. And I have a remote switch down at the bottom of the pedal board, so I can access that easy.
Okay.
So I can turn on my drive sections that are at the top of my board with a switch on the lower part of my board. That's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, this is the one they usually use for like A/B and pedals.
Exactly.
Right? Yep.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a great solution for that. Anyways, I have last night I plugged in the audio disruption devices Overloader Deluxe, which is a really cool, like, it's a preamp that has all kinds of filtering on it. So you have an in level and an out level, which gives you like some pretty rad distortion.
Oh, dang.
And it's got a high pass, low pass, and a couple other filters, and then also has a resistor knob on it. Super cool pedal.
Okay.
Tons of sound that you can get out of it, and it's all fun but very usable too.
Yeah.
So that's what I was playing with last night, and then like the night before I was trying different fuzzes out and stuff. So
you're bouncing between two different sounds? You said?
yeah, so I can go from like my main sound that I'm doing to, which is just, like a really solid drive with a little bit of harmonic nature to it because of the two pedals smashing into each other, into something that might be either less gain or way more gain. I can I can create as big of a loop as I want in there, which is kind of nice too, because if I have like two pedals in that one loop, then I can just have one on for one song, or it's great. It's a great little thing.
It's beautiful.
I'm getting into too much math right now. I apologize if you're driving like, oh my gosh, I missed my turn.
No, I get it. It's blowing my mind, man.
Blowing my mind.
Blowing my mind.
You're
Todd,
twisting my melon,
Todd's
man.
getting into loops.
That's from Michio Murakishi.
Sick.
I used to use a Boss LS2. Those are cool.
Yeah.
The line selector. Have you used one of those?
I haven't.
It's similar. I mean,
it looks weird, and I don't know what to do.
It does.
with
It has a lot of different modes, but you can set up two different loops, and you can go A B, or you can run them. I think you can run them parallel also.
Yeah, you can do some blending too, right?
And then I also have an old Blood Noise signal blender.
Yeah, signal blender. One's good.
That's a fantastic pedal. I bought that thinking I would use it to do to run parallel effects signals or effects loops, but I actually use it as like a 3-to-1 mixer, and you can run like 3 different instruments into one amp, which is super useful.
That's cool.
It's very cool.
They make some fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was all about that. And Tony's giving me the face. Anyways, hey, you know what? Is the coolest part about using this JHS pedal looper here?
Yes. Is you have to use patch cables.
That's right. And I got them from Tour Gear
Where?
Designs.
Where?
Because I needed long ones to go loop, send and return. Yes, I needed longer ones.
How long?
But not so long that they're all over the place.
Yeah, how long?
Mike, that's a great question. In fact, I've got 3-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, 15-inch, 18-inch, and 23-inch. I literally have all of those.
You have all of those?
I have all of them because I need them.
Duplicates of all of those?
I've got duplicates of all of them.
So you're telling me you got 3 12s and 2
I have 2
6s?
12s.
You have 2
I've got
12s?
multiple 6. I mess around with a lot of stuff, man.
And you know why?
Todd's got problems.
And because I can afford it because they're affordable.
Oh, okay.
If I tried to do this with almost any other patch cable, my wife would send my bags out to
You'd
the
have
front
to
street.
drop a mortgage, yeah.
It'd be crazy, but
It'd be
these are
wild.
totally affordable.
Whoa, wait, Todd.
And
you're forgetting.
And, no, I'm not forgetting,
Okay.
Tony, because I'm going to get to this in a second. If you'd
Okay,
let me,
okay.
doggone it. You know what? That JHS pedal it doesn't require a TRS cable. But if it did, like my HX Stomp, with my HX Stomp, I got one of those. so that I can use it for the
So you're saying
effects.
you literally
Expression.
have
Expression, that too.
hundreds of
I don't have hundreds.
tour gear design
No, not
cables
hundreds.
sitting in your basement.
I've got like 20 something or whatever.
Okay.
But they're not just sitting in a pile. They're all over my board, or they're making up boards when we got this fantastic box of this 4 on the floor that
Bruce Bacon!
yeah, Bruce Bacon.
How many thousands of patch cables you would need to hook up all of those different pedals? So you're going to load up your cart
Yes.
at the Tour Gear Design website. When you get to the checkout screen, there is a space to put a coupon code. And you're going to put in the guitar knobs, all lowercase, all one word, and you're going to save an extra 10%.
Okay.
Who could say no to something like that? So special thanks to Tour Gear Designs
Yes,
for supporting the show by
Yeah.
sponsoring
our 4 on the floor. Thank you. And Tony?
Let me get a little bit of this.
That was a really good one. Wow. I have to clean that mic. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor. All right. Micah.
I love the new. It's not that new, but the Disorder by Dreadbox. Have you guys tried that? It's a fuzz pedal.
No.
Wild. It's gated.
I love it.
It's got a filter. It does like it'll like self oscillate. It's like one of the craziest fuzz pedals I've ever tried. I really love that.
Slow down. What is this again?
It's by Dreadbox,
Dreadbox.
and the name of the pedal is Disorder. But it's just it's so versatile. If you don't even touch any of the filter controls, I feel like it still
love the
covers.
design.
Yeah, I feel like
That pedal is killer. The filter.
the filter is wild. The tone sweep on it is, I think, it's maybe has the most broad like range of tone out of any fuzz pedal I've ever tried. Very cool, very easy to dial in. But I love that. Always got to have a rat. So like small box 80s
you
rat.
you get the small box?
Oh, yeah.
You know what we saw at the show? Mini. There was a mini one.
the little rat.
The little tiny guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty cute.
Yeah, that was
it's cute.
fun. Yeah.
It's a cool pedal.
It's a little weird, you know?
So we're on to number 2.
Yes.
On to number two,
Number 2
it's
is
gonna
rat.
be a rat. I think probably like a tremolo. So I probably like
Wait, really quick. Rat setting. What's your favorite?
volume almost all the way up, gain just barely open.
Sick.
I start with the filter in the middle and just kind of go to taste depending on the guitar or the amp.
Okay.
So kind of low gain setting. And then if I wanted, I would probably kick on the Disorder fuzz in front of that if I wanted to make it really nasty. I really like the Fender Boss FRV1 reverb, the brown
Wait
one.
a minute. Now you said something about a tremolo pedal.
Yeah, I should. I skipped
Let's
one.
back up. That's number 3.
I guess.
What
What tremolo do I like? We're
tremolo?
going non-native audio. I haven't used a non-native audio tremolo in so long.
If you didn't have
Exactly.
the beautiful tremolo device that Native Audio makes, what would you pick?
Well, you're just picking
TR2.
types of pedals.
No, I'm not. These are
You
specific.
just said a tremolo.
Well,
Yeah.
that he's trying to remember.
He's trying to
I'm
beat
whittling it
around
down.
the bush because he has a favorite tremolo.
I'll go TR2.
TR2.
That's classic. It's
classic.
Classic. And then FRV1, just the Fender Boss reverb at the end.
I think the tremolo is a cop out. I'm just gonna say. Was
Yeah.
it really? You were
it was-
thinking. I guess I'll
A
take
cop
that one.
out? Not a cop.
Okay, we're going to pull back the curtain a little bit.
Okay.
Pull back the curtain.
Yeah, I mean,
The rising sun.
it would be a Rising Sun if I can take my tremolo of choice. Yeah.
You hear that, Todd? You hear that, Todd?
I'm confused. I'm not familiar with that pedal.
It
You mean
ramps,
the-
it taps.
You mean the
it
Sonoma?
slices, it dices.
Oh, my Lord.
No.
Yeah. Todd's been giving me so much beef about the rising sun since it was the heat wave.
Rising Sun's classic. Yeah.
Hey, Todd.
Well, yes.
Do you like apples?
I love apples.
How do you like them apples?
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
I'm still thinking about this disorder. Where are
It's
they?
a beautiful pedal.
Where are they from?
Just order it and thank me later.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Where are they from? Do we know?
Japan, I think, right?
No,
that's right.
I think it's
Yeah.
Greece. Yeah,
Greece.
because
with
they use like what looks like
Japanese text.
Japanese text on
Yeah.
their pedals. But yeah, I think they're Greece.
It's made with lamb.
Wait, why would you say because they're from Greece they use Japanese?
No,
I
they're
didn't say because. I said
from-
but they use. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you
yeah.
said because they do that they're from Greece. And
No,
I'm like,
no.
wait a minute, what am I missing?
No, but that's an incredibly fun fuzz pedal. Then it has the filter controls
Yes.
as well, so you can do all kinds of cool
I'm
filter
excited
stuff.
about that.
Even at low
you
gain, it's cool
scroll-
too. So a lot of fuzz pedals with don't really have much use in the low gain settings.
Yeah.
That is like a fuzzy drive in its low gain settings. It's extremely cool.
I'm trying to look at the settings here. You see that pedal right there? Scroll up. Oh my gosh, you're literally one more. There you go. Scroll up slightly. Look at that expressive envelope filter, Todd. It has external inputs.
It's basic. That's kind of like that's not far off from the pedal that I described. Honestly.
Sounds insane with drum machines too.
Yes.
Like absolutely wild behind a drum machine.
I have a drummer.
It's very, very cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
you mean into a drum machine?
Yes, I'm sorry, into a drum machine. I forget how pedals work.
So anyways, that's great. I appreciate that 4 on the floor. That was really fun.
It's beautiful.
This is becoming a disjointed podcast.
This is oscillating wildly as Johnny Marr looks on and gives me a little nod. Thank you, my friend.
I love it.
That's referring to our Johnny Marr poster that's above Tony. For those who don't, haven't.
Hey, if you've never been here.
Yeah, which is almost everybody.
Yeah.
Anyways, what we are here today to do is to talk to Mike and Micah.
And Micah.
About this new pedal. Yes. Tell us about this pedal. You've been on a roll of making some great stuff.
We are a brand that shares our culture through sound. We're a native-owned company, and one of the biggest things that we do is share the stories through the artwork. And one of the things that we run into...
Just really quickly, where do you hail? Where are you from?
From the Blackfeet Nation.
Blackfeet Nation, okay.
And a lot of these stories are so deep that it's very, very hard to share these stories on one product, right? We come out with a design, and we kind of just give a top line of the story. But we have so many people that play the products that they want to know more. They're like, hey, I love the stories. Give me more. Give me more. And it's always a challenge when it comes to sitting down and designing the pedal. 1, doing the sound. 2, doing the stories. So what we decided, we kind of panned back and just kind of looked at all of our products. And we kind of decided, hey, why don't we take these stories and take these sounds and kind of dive into them. And rather than just throwing out one sound, one story, we kind of dive into them. And and so the Buffalo Days is the beginning of that journey.
So you started out with some deep family, very, very close personal family story based pedals.
Yep.
Okay. Running Wolf.
Yeah.
A host of others, all the the lady bird woman,
Pretty Bird Woman.
Yeah, and those are all like your own personal family kind of connections for the most part.
Yep.
But now you're saying let's open up the book of your culture.
Yeah. Well, and we've kind of been doing that with Ghost Ridge and Rising Sun, those type of pedals, but what we're doing is we're kind of sharing the same story, but from a different, like sharing a familiar story, but from a different perspective.
Okay.
So, for example, Buffalo Days. What is Buffalo Days? So, Ghost Ridge.
Do you want me to ask that? What is Buffalo Days?
No, you're fine. So you're familiar. so you're familiar with Ghost Ridge. Ghost Ridge tells a story, right? And it's such a deep story that we were like, okay,
that's a reverb pedal.
That's the reverb. So Ghost Ridge is a multi-reverb, and Ghost Ridge tells the story of when kind of some external forces kind of destroyed what was the livelihood of the Plains Indians, which is the buffalo, and the buffalo neared extinction, and when that happened, unfortunately, our people, the Blackfeet, kind of had to declare their dependence upon the U.S. government.
Right. And just may I interject really quick? It's one thing to say, oh, the buffaloes kind of went extinct. If you don't visualize that or think about it, you can say, well, there just weren't any more one day. Until you look at some of the historical photos of mountains of buffalo skulls. Mountains.
Yeah, and that's one of the coolest things about doing native audio is that not only are we it's challenging me to dive deep into the design, right? Because I'm still doing the hardware, I'm still doing the software, but it allows me and Micah to really kind of sit down and dive into the history.
Yeah.
Because what the stories that we're sharing, we're not just making up stories. These stories are coming straight from history. And the craziest thing, because we are going back to the story of Ghost Ridge and sharing a little bit about it with Buffalo Days, it allowed us to go back and like really kind of dive into the history. And what ended up happening was white settlers came over and just kind of cornered the Plains Indians, which include the Blackfeet. And what ended up happening was you had close to 60 million buffalo. And so you had buffalo in the millions. And that number actually dropped very close short of 1,000. Oh, so you're talking about
that's
millions.
Mountains.
You're talking
I'm not joking. Mountains
yep,
of skulls.
Yep. And so part of that was actually military action, was U.S. governmental action. Other parts of it was just settlers kind of moving in on the territory and just kind of doing their thing. But it was a huge damper on the entire situation with the Blackfeet. And unfortunately, towards the late 1800s, that ended up forcing our people to kind of declare dependency upon the government, which Buffalo Days tells that story, but it tells the story of Ghost Ridge, but from a different perspective. And
okay.
So Buffalo Days is before the days of Ghost Ridge. And just really quick, Ghost Ridge is actually the name of a burial site on the Blackfeet Reservation. And when this happened, when the buffalo went very close to extinct, and we ended up kind of losing our life source, we ended up losing close to a quarter of our people because of the extinction. And they were buried at Ghost Ridge. And so Buffalo Days, how does Buffalo Days tie into Ghost Ridge?
How does Buffalo Days tie into Ghost Ridge, Mike?
Well, I am very glad you asked, Todd. Buffalo Days shares the days before Ghost Ridge. And these are the days that we thrived, that our people, the Blackfeet people, thrived on the buffalo. This is where you're talking about we were in our own world.
Yeah.
Just doing our own thing, not any problems, right? And so that's kind of the story behind Buffalo Days, is like, okay, let's go back before Ghost Ridge. And that's kind of what we did. And not only have we kept the same story as Ghost Ridge, or we're kind of sharing a different perspective of that story, but we're also sharing a different perspective of the sound. And Buffalo Days is now a part of what we're kind of dubbing as our Okie series. And Okie is the Blackfeet translation for hello.
OKI.
OKI.
Yeah.
OKI. And Okie is the Blackfeet translation, hello. And so this series that we're dubbing as the Hello series is kind of for the people that are trying to dip their toes into the pedal world, or maybe they've heard a native audio, but some of the knobs, the switches kind of scared them a little bit.
Oh, well, I wonder why would that happen.
Yeah.
That's very strange.
And maybe some people want just like a gig-friendly solution. Well, the Okie series is the answer. And we've kind of already been constructing this series before. We have products like War Party, Kiayo, McCoy. Those products are the 3-knob, 1-switch. Those are kind of the ones you plug it in, you turn a knob, it does exactly what it says.
Yeah.
And so what we kind of wanted to do was, we have the Ghost Ridge, which is a part of like the 2-knob, 2-switch series. This has 4 presets. It kind of dives a little bit more. It's a little bit more of like an advanced product. And what we wanted to do was bring that into a friendly format.
Yes.
And
It is a very friendly format.
Yes.
I love it.
And that's where Buffalo Days comes.
You're talking about things that we're not as exposed to anymore. They're distant, just as far as that part of history, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things that we ended up doing. That's kind of one of the byproducts of native audio. And even for me, so Ghost, like, you grow up in this culture. Like, I was born on the Blackfeet Reservation, born and raised, and you grow up around the culture, and it just becomes kind of second nature. And it's not until you move off of that, move away from that, that you realized how rich that culture was, how rich those stories were, or just how
Such
interesting.
a beautiful area too.
Yeah.
My gosh.
And it's so interesting. And then now, fast forward to designing the pedals, and Micah can even kind of attest to this, is that when we sit down to do the product designs, that's hardware, software, graphic and story are like one of the very crucial parts of it, right? And that we sit down and, I mean, you know, coming up, it takes a lot to kind of just dive into the history and kind of format that in a way that's digestible.
Yeah.
But thankfully, this series has allowed us to kind of expand upon those stories, because I feel like every time we design a pedal, like I said with Two Medicine, we took this long story and we dialed it down to 5 sentences. Now that we've introduced the Buffalo Days, what we're trying to do is take these sounds, take these stories, and just kind of expand upon them.
This pedal I plugged in, I had a wildly great time with it. It's
I'm
so
happy to hear
good.
that.
Very cool.
Tony.
Yes. To me, it's a relatively straightforward, simple pedal. But what's cool about it, so it's a reverb pedal, right?
Yep.
It's a variable reverb pedal. And the main knob, I will call it, I guess, it allows you to select, or actually kind of blend between hall, plate, room, and spring reverbs.
Right.
And it's not like click, click, click. It's a
sweep.
It's a sweeping
There's middle ground.
potentiometer.
Soft.
And you can really vary the type of reverb just by dialing this knob a little bit.
It's a soft knob, by the way, Tony.
It is soft.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, although it is, it feels kind of hard.
It is, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Todd.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the clarification.
Look, if you're going to talk about technical things, you need to know exactly what you're talking
It's
about.
a sweeper. You got yourself a nice sweeper
I
here.
totally got it. Sweeper. Check.
And then, the other two knobs are mix and depth. Okay.
Yeah. Mix. I love a mix knob. I say that anytime
You need a
that
mix
comes
knob.
up. I love mix knobs.
Yep.
So my experience with this was really good. It's really straightforward. I didn't have to read anything.
No.
The only question I had for you is I had to keep the mix up pretty hot in order to get a lot of signal to come through.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the way you planned it, or?
It depends. It varies whatever reverb mode you're on.
Okay.
Now, you're talking about if you're in hall, you're going to get more affected. I mean, hall's going to get almost very close to like a delay type of sound.
Right.
Reverb, spring, you're going to get more subtle, which is going to have you kind of playing around with the mix and the depth a little bit more.
Yes. That was my experience.
And the way we set it up, so what Tony's talking about is the reverb, the different reverb modes. We have hall, plate, room, and spring. And the way those are is kind of medium to long with dark reflections. That's hall. Plate is medium to long reverb, bright reflections. And room is small to medium space with darker reflections. Spring just sounds like a spring amp. Mm-hmm. And the reason we did that was we wanted a pedal that had a lot of range, right?
Yeah.
Because
it's got all the range.
Yep. And so you get anything from small to large space, but you also get tone wise anything from like a darker to a brighter sound. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so that's kind of
could have called it the Tone Ranger.
We could have, but
That would have been
did not do that.
counterintuitive to your entire thing. But
Yes.
anyways,
Yeah. If and Micah, if you want to share kind of how we went from Ghost Ridge to Buffalo Days, functionality wise.
Functionality wise, we just wanted to kind of create something for the people who kind of shut off when you start talking about presets. I mean, I really enjoy the Ghost Ridge. It's on my board.
what?
Yes, exactly. Like, but we have lots of just great musician friends of our own, and a lot of times when I'll be explaining a pedal to even some of our close friends, sometimes you'll lose people with presets or secondary functions. So we wanted to create something that so someone could just instantly grasp. That you don't have to read the instructions.
Yeah,
like you said,
this called to me. I mean, because I plugged it in. I said, I know what this does.
Yeah, something just less to think about. Especially like we've been using the term gig friendly. It's just something you can throw on your board, and you're not messing with it a lot live. It's just very easy to download something very quickly.
The foot swing. If you're not messing around with the tap tempo, then you got another thing in the way. If some people love tap tempo.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them.
Right.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and this is a pedal that somebody could just throw at you, and you turn it on, and you're like, "Oh, okay,
Good to go."
Yeah,
I'm good to go."
You just get it
Which is
immediately.
great especially for people who are getting into the pedal game.
Yeah.
People who
Exactly.
are just trying to get a tone quickly.
Yes.
And be able to explore a little bit without falling down a tone or a tunnel of variation and stuff like that.
Yes.
It's really a great pedal. I truly like this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and so
I think that's probably the best one you've done, in my opinion.
thank you,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
For me.
and you bring up a good point. It's for you, right? Is that there's a lot of different musicians, a lot of different flavors,
Yeah.
and what we're trying to do with Native Audio is kind of open up who we are as a brand. Like, we're not just for these people. We're just not for these people who. And so, what we ended up doing is pan back. We used to just come out with a pedal, and that was it. That was it had 5 knobs. It had 2 knobs. Now, what we ended up doing at the beginning of this year, we kind of started moving this direction, is we actually started working on having 3 different tiers of pedals in
Smart.
the Native Audio line.
Smart.
And you can kind of think small, medium, large, starting with the Oki series. The Oki series is the 3-knob, 1 switch.
Well, I like that you're doing it via functionality. I mean,
Yep.
I think, people have definitely been, and I think JHS is just because they're so big and popular, is an easy one to point out. They've had their different series where they look decidedly different than their other. They did the whole white series, which is an entry level series. Yours, it's not an entry level because it doesn't have as much stuff on it.
Yep.
It's an entry level because of
Functionality.
a functionality factor.
Yes. Yep. And that's right. And above that comes the preset series.
Right.
Where you have 2 knobs, 2 switch. You're talking, so we're going Buffalo Days, which is Oki series. The next one up, we just kind of keep getting more advanced as we go up these tiers. The second tier, the preset, would be Ghost Ridge. Then you get into the third tier, which is the third tier is for the Explorer, the one that loves turning knobs, tweaking switches, press and tap tempos, that kind of stuff. And so once you get up into that tier, you're talking more Rising Sun, you're talking Midnight, Wilderness,
Right.
these style of pedals. So each of these different pedals, like we said, familiar sounds, different perspectives.
Yeah.
And we've been really having a fun time with this one, and it's kind of opened our eyes from a design perspective, because now we're starting to build this ecosystem of pedals, and we're just excited to see where it kind of takes the
Very
brand.
cool. What's the price point on this?
So the price point on that one is $219. And that sits right at exactly the other pedals in the Oki series, Kio, War Party, and McCoy.
It's 4 reverbs and 1 pedal.
4 reverbs and 1 pedal. Now, you bring up a great point on there's some other brands.
So it's not $50. We're just making that clear.
Yeah, not $50. You bring up another point is there's some brands that kind of bring their, I would say, what do you say? You said beginner series?
Yeah, it's an entry-level series, yeah.
Entry-level series
Like the
type of thing.
JHS White series.
Yeah, which is great. And we didn't really want to take that style of approach because, again, we're just native audio.
Yeah.
And we wanted to look at it and be like, how can we be native audio with this?
Yeah.
And one of the things that we looked at was like, well, do you come out with a pedal that's bare aluminum and then you print and then you just have a plain print on there or whatever? And we were like, no, that's boring. Why does it have to be that way?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
And that's a good point.
It doesn't have to be that way.
That doesn't make you feel like you're settling either.
It doesn't. And it really, and so we tried to look at different ways. We bounced back and forth, and what we ended up stumbling upon was Buffalo Days. It took the story from another one and shared it.
Yeah.
It went even deeper, but then also, if you get familiar with this
You can go up.
three knob, you could go up another tier, and also we didn't want to just like slap a reverb in there and just call it done. This has mix, depth, and then it has the 4 different modes. But this pedal also has the ability to turn trails off or on, and it has analog, dry, and a couple other jazzy
Where's
stuff.
that?
What's that?
Where's the
The option to
tails?
turn trails
Yes.
on and off.
So
Is that on the inside?
You can do it at power up. So if you hold down the switch when you're initially
You
plugging
sneaky
the power in,
Yep.
it's set for must to automatically have trails on.
Yeah.
But if you hold down the switch at power up, the light will blink at you once to let you know that it's changed, and then trails will be
Smart.
off.
So there's all these different things that we added into it.
Can you just explain? We hear trails all the time, but maybe everybody doesn't know what that is.
Yeah, so trails just means that when you click the effect off, the effect doesn't immediately go away. It slowly fades out. Just
Right.
a little bit more organic sounding. Works really well for delays and reverbs.
Which is really cool, especially if you're playing live and you're doing like a solo-y bit, and if you click off, all of a sudden that's gone, and it's a little jarring.
It is, yeah. Just makes a much smoother transition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dig it. Very, very cool, Mike. I know you have to run. You've got a newborn baby and stuff.
Yes.
You're gonna have to take care of. Can we get you to hang out for our, would you rather and all that stuff? We
Oh,
got
yeah,
room
dude.
in the El
Yeah.
Camino, buddy.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah, there's
all
plenty of room in the back.
Plenty of room.
Well, let's do that then.
All
Tony?
right. Without further ado, let's fire up the El Camino.
Yes.
Head down. We'll do a quick swing past Jared's house.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's also Tony in the morning.
Yeah, kind of like that. More or less. That's right, folks, because at this point of the show, there's a little game we play called Would You Rather?
Wow. What am I
Love it.
supposed to do with that? I
love it.
can't. What
love
am I?
it.
Yeah. All right. Well done.
Yes.
Little flat, dog.
Yeah, little pitchy.
All right, here we go.
Little pitchy. So this week's Would You Rather, if you remember earlier in the show, I was talking about Joe Bonamassa's massive collection.
Yes.
Well, at this, there's a out of the blue.
But who are you? Me?
Out of the blue. I'm talking like Todd.
You're totally Todding right now.
Out of the blue, an invitation, an engraved invitation comes in the mail.
Interesting.
And it has a J and a B on the outside.
Uh-huh.
You open it up, and it's an invitation to come see Joe Bonamassa's collection.
Brilliant.
Flight out to L.A.
Is this like one of those things that like it starts at midnight and you have to wear like a strange like an Italian mask or something?
No. No.
It should be. That'd be
No.
really cool.
You're talking eyes wide shut.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, no, that stuff doesn't happen. So you get there, you hang out with Joe for a little bit. He's showing you all the guitars and the amps and stuff that he has, and you just had a great day of it. But on your way out, he says, these companies just keep sending me this stuff. I've got my signature models on all these kinds of things. Can you help me out here, bud, and take some of this stuff out of here? And I said, I don't want you to be, the difference between a pig and a hog, right? There's a difference between a pig and a hog.
Okay, well, you have to explain that.
Yeah.
Don't be piggish about it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
No, nobody knows what you're saying.
Say, don't be
What are
greedy.
you talking about?
Don't be greedy.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Why is there a difference? Why? They both are greedy. I don't understand.
No, one's a pig,
Yes.
the other's a hog.
What's the difference?
This is great.
Yes.
Why is this great?
It's going to drive him crazy.
It is.
Do you understand what's going on?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, he
being
said
a hog
greed.
is greedy.
A hog is greedy?
Being a pig's just
What's a
taking
pig?
an amp from Joe Bonamassa.
I don't understand.
So anyhow, Joe says, out there in the foyer,
Yes.
there's some boxes of stuff.
Okay.
And
By the Davenport?
yes, next to the Davenport. He may actually call him a Davenport because he's
sure.
from upstate New York.
Yeah.
So in one pile is 3 guitars.
Oh, good. We're getting to what this actually is. Yes.
3 guitars. There's these are all Epiphones.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
His signature models.
All right.
There's a Epiphone Joe Bonamassa Firebird 1 Treasure.
Okay.
There's
It's
a
a single pickup, right?
single pickup
Yeah.
wraparound bridge.
Check- I knew
That's
that.
right up my alley. The second in the pile there is a Joe Bonamassa Epiphone 62 ES355 60s Cherry, and then there's also one of the 1958 Flying V Amos models. Now these are nice guitars, right?
Yeah.
He says, "Well, I'll tell you what. I also Fender sent this over earlier. I'm not going to use it right now. You can choose between the guitars and the Joe Bonamassa Fender 1948 dual professional amp. Now, this is a hand-wired amp, total custom shop. I think they go for about $3,500, if I'm not mistaken. But, it's a 2x10 tweed, has the big chrome piece on the front. So he says, you know what? You can take the guitars, these 3, or you can take the amp, but you can't take both. So would you rather take the guitars home with you, or would you rather take the amp home with you?
Am I missing why this is not hard?
I'm going amp.
Well, no.
Okay,
One
all right,
at
all
a
right.
time. One at
So
a time.
all 3
Wait,
of
is the
the.
amp-
you get to
is
take
the-
3 guitars.
Is the amp a reissue?
Am I,
Yeah, it's-
which is the? Is this all of them?
You've got a few of them up there. So one of them is just 3 Epiphone Joe Bonamassa guitars, okay?
Okay, but it's
one
It's the
Fender 48
And it's hand
dual
wired.
professional hand. I mean, it's
It's a proper tube amp.
yeah. So apples to apples, you got 3 guitars that probably cost the same amount as the dual
Okay.
professional.
right, but the dual professional is a single.
No, it's a 210.
210
It's a
combo.
210. Oh yeah. Okay.
The dual
All right.
the dual professional was Fender's first dual speaker. What are you doing?
Go ahead. Dual speaker.
So there you go. So you can take the guitars or you can take the amp. Would you rather? You want me to
Okay.
go first?
Yeah.
Not only do I have to come up with them, I have to go first too. So as cool and trust me, these Joe Bonamassa Epiphone models are pretty cool. I mean, they're really
they're
well
really nice.
made guitars. I've never had a 48 Fender dual professional style amplifier, and so I'm going to take the amp with me. This is a cool. I mean, these amps are about as cool as they get, and it's got that late '40s styling. There you go.
Yep.
It has that big
I've
chrome
seen.
piece on the front. Tweed Tolex,
Cool,
hand wired. It's a pretty cool amp. So as much as I, yeah,
That's a lot of
peanuts.
lots of peanuts you fit in that amp.
So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to forego the guitars and grab the amp. Thanks, Joe.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
Well, you guys know I already got 2 guitars. I met my max. But
No,
I am so much of a fan of amps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my guitar set. I'm good. I love playing around with different amps. So I am going to go with the amp.
Yay!
I'd like to take that for a test drive.
Wow.
Well, you get
Yeah.
to keep it.
Okay, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. It's the 210s that are, yeah.
It'd be interesting.
I like a little bit,
but that's
bigger
why it's
speaker,
different.
But
actually,
yeah,
your
it is.
Duosonic through 210s probably sounds amazing.
I've got that 210 Tremolux cab right now, and it
Yeah.
sounds huge.
Yeah.
It kind of changed what I thought about 10s. I think.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah,
Nice.
maybe Joe's gonna change my mind.
Yeah.
There you go.
Micah?
Okay, but
Micah?
I will take it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going amp definitely.
All right, 3 amps.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 amps full.
Wait, why would you take the amp?
I mean, hand wired Fender tube amps are like the classic. I mean, that's kind of the standard.
Yeah.
If it wasn't hand wired, I might take the guitars, but
Which guitar would you take?
No, you get
all
all 3
of them. I mean,
All
yeah,
3 of 'em?
I'd like the V the most out of those. I like
Like the V.
Firebirds, but I gotta have a neck pickup.
You don't strike me as a V guy.
Really?
Yeah, really.
That's disappointing.
I'm sorry, Micah.
I thought I was
Flip flops and a V.
Yeah, they'll match my flip flops. But yeah, I'd go amp though for sure.
I think it's going to be a little awkward in the shop tomorrow.
Yeah.
On the drive home.
Todd, what about you?
I'm taking the guitars for sure.
I knew
I
it.
have no use for that
Yes.
amp at all.
Yeah, this is
No,
the Amp
it's-
Knobs podcast, right?
Yeah. Just add more to the collection.
Yeah. I want the guitars. I want all the guitars.
Those are nice guitars.
Those are cool guitars.
I got to admit the Firebird, yeah,
Oh, there's nothing quite like a
but it-
wraparound single pickup
but it's like
Firebird.
malt colored. It's like a malt.
Well, it also comes in gold.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll keep that one too
I
then.
figured that, gold would be
Yeah, I
an
don't want
easy
a
sell for you.
malt colored
Todd
guitar.
loves
Does
his
not
gold.
excite me.
Yes. So we got 3 amps and
I'll take the guitars.
one guitar vote.
Faux show.
All righty.
That was a good one, Tony.
Thank you, Todd.
Yes,
it
despite
was.
your effort.
Oh, jeez.
All right, go ahead and lay it on us, big boy.
Do you want to do this part or do you have to get rolling?
No, we can.
Okay, I'll just go through it.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, Todd, because at this point of the show, there's a special group of people that we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, you might be wondering what an executive producer is. Well, folks, an executive producer makes this show possible. How do you become one? You go over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple of different levels in which you can participate, become a sponsor, a patron of this very podcast. Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts. But as an executive producer,
Yes.
there's one thing more. Jared,
You get to have your name read on the thing.
your name read on the thing. That's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers. Moon Guitars, Vader and Pedals, John Helverson, Rick Calhoun, Trevor Gunberg, Elad Mizrahi, Mike D., Richard Kendall, Mark Garton, James White, Justin Jones, Anthony Jamalero, Bill Gola Guitars, John Esterly, Anthony Lathrop, Stefan Lamb, Michael Sanchuk, Ken Sayers, Doug Christ, Darren Gregory, Tom Brazen, Rusty Sneeden, Ralph Gottschalk, Don Kloss, Gregory Randall, Brett Hogarth, Eric Hemmer, Stuart George, Michael Furman, James Bell, James Romer, Cameron Pampas, we heard from him earlier today, and David Tyndall. Thank you, executive producers.
Indeed. Thank you.
Oh, Todd, but there's more.
I knew there would be.
more because there's a special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poobahs. These are the top of the heap, the creme de la creme. If you're hungry out there, they get a fez to wear upon their head. This is what differentiates them. Among other things, there's so many more thank you gifts that they get too. Oh my goodness. Todd can
Yes,
fill you
all
in for
the
days.
different things.
All the things. So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs. Tommy Manasco, Ricardo Iguereda, David Kaminga, Brandon Wound Pickups, Hex Matos, Michio Murakishi, Bob Crouch, Jack Cadian, Sam Jett, Tyler Rhines, LSJ Music Company, John Williams, James Pennington, Adam Johnson, Steve Keys, Cody Foster, Science of Sound, Brian Robison, Jonathan Jurisic, Corey Nigro, Michael Van Zant, Tim Nowak, Jonathan Daly, Martin Cliff, Sean S., David Poe, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Congregation Gear Demos, Paul Von Eppinger, Scott Sullivan, Great Lakes Guitar Pickups, and Matt Hart, our new friend from Cincinnati.
Heck yeah. Thank you. Matt, and thank you very much for a fantastic episode that you put forth for us. It was great. Well, Tony, it's about that time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We need to say a quick thank you to Mike and Micah of Native Audio for sharing the fantastic story about this pedal and all those things. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are more than welcome. Where can people go buy these things?
nativeaudio.com.
When?
June 16th, we are releasing Buffalo Days.
Okay. And I think this will be out by then. It should be out just after the release.
Yes.
I believe so. So when you hear this, it's available. Go get one.
Yeah.
Okay. Tony,
Yes, Todd.
where can people find what you're doing?
Yeah, go over to pickguardian.com. Check out some of the things that I do and that I have for sale. But by and large, what I do is custom work. So shoot me an email. Let me know what you need, what you're trying to do. Who knows? I might have some good advice for you.
I think so.
I don't know.
Probably. Micah, I know you're into some stuff.
Yeah, I play in a band called Skirt. You can find our stuff at
SKRT.
SKRT. Yeah, you can find us on all the major platforms that are streaming music. So
Perfect.
I think you should change the spelling to SKURT.
that was the original spelling, and then it was a two-piece. And right before I joined the band, they dropped the U.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, we've
All
been
right.
talking about putting it back in.
Thus, Skrit. There is no U in the band Skirt.
Yeah, not currently.
Okay. Now everyone's thoroughly confused. You can shoot me an email, Todd@theguitarknobs.com, or hit me up on Instagram @guitarknobs. We'd love to hear from you. Please share your would you rathers. And also, please go check out Flint Effects, where you can get a stomper for sure for your Line 6 HX stomp.
Yes.
Your Stomp XL.
Yes.
And if you're into one of these new Valaton GP 200 series things that
Yes.
are like hitting the old Instagrams like hot tamales, then that'll help you out too. Flint Effects, so go get yourself one. Hey everybody, Mike and Micah,
Yes.
thanks for joining us, guys.
We
Love it when you come
Thanks
by.
again.
Have a fantastic week, everybody, and subscribe. Party time. Yeah. Anyways.
Yes.
Nope.
Kind of a segment bag.
All right.
All right. God. You're putting me under all this pressure.
Pressure
Boom, 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 boom.
coming down.
Boom, boom, boom.
I don't know. I'm doing the like Fine Young Cannibals version of it.
Tighten it up. Tighten it up, Todd.
Okay, but why? Why?
Big guy.
No, that's No, you're killing the vibe already, Tony. You can swing that. Bazinga, not a finger, baby. What?
They did.
No.
Didn't they do a version of Ever
Have
Fallen?
I fallen in love with someone? I've fallen in love.
You got to start the show.
I'm not starting the show.
Hey, yo, let's start the show, huh?
Hey. What about this?
That's good.
It's like, does they have another hit?
Oh yeah, they had Johnny, don't worry.
Oh yeah.
Won't you come on home?
Anybody got gum?
Gum? No. I was like,
Spit mine out as soon as we got in the room. That was him directly checking on me.
Oh, you must be kidding. No.
Put
the
them
guitar
all-
knobs.
Let me finish.
Badang.
I saw the Buzzcocks up at El Rosa
Really?
Villa. Yes.
Cool. Who are they on tour with?
Who opened for them?
Fine Young Cannibals. We're opening for the Buzzcocks, baby.
I forget who opened for them.
And one of the biggest things is that we share our oh my gosh, I have such a hard time talking with noise.
Tony,
I'm working on
you
it.
can do this after.
I'm going to kill you, Todd. Blah 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 blah.
What is it? What?
You said our.
Are you broken?
No, I'm leaded.
Give
the
the
biggest thing-
brief background.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay.
Start over.
What? The brief background?
Now.
Okay. Native Audio.
Wait.
But I mean, the El Rosa was, of course, a metal bar.
Yeah.
But I saw Guided by Voices there at the El Rosa. There were a couple of other bands that were, did not belong there. But
Absolutely. You know who else actually did the El Rosa, which I didn't know before? Fine Young Cannibals. We played at El Rosa Theater.
Are we talking to?
No, now I gotta say what it is.
We're calling Todd on all his junk.
And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.